The psychology of unbreakable people. Most men don't break because life is hard. They break because they were never trained for pain. They were raised to be comfortable, to avoid discomfort, to chase pleasure, to escape pressure. But pressure in life isn't optional. It's guaranteed. When life applies weight, weak systems collapse. Unbreakable men aren't loud. They aren't emotional. They aren't dramatic. They're quiet because they've already survived things that would have destroyed weaker minds. You don't rise to confidence. You fall to your trainings. The world doesn't need softer men. It needs men who can endure pressure without collapsing. Welcome to The Sovereign Mind with thesevereignmindwithsteveabba, a motivational channel dedicated to mental dominance, emotional resilience, discipline, and quiet execution. In this episode, we break down the psychology of the unbreakable, the mindset, habits, and identity that allow some people to endure pressure. The line in the sand. There's a moment every man must choose: comfort or discipline, excuses or responsibility, weakness or standards. You don't become unbreakable gradually. You become unbreakable the moment you decide who you are. Nobody is coming to save you. No one is responsible for your future except you. You are the last line of defense. You don't need a new strategy. You need a new identity, and that is one that doesn't negotiate with weakness, one that doesn't collapse under pressure, one that executes regardless of emotion. Why most men are mentally fragile. Most men were never taught emotional control. They were trained to avoid discomfort, not master it. They were taught distraction, comfort, validation, entertainment. Weak men aren't born weak, they're conditioned. Conditioned to quit when it's hard, conditioned to seek dopamine instead of discipline, conditioned to escape pain instead of confronting it. Comfort is the new addiction. This is how your nervous system is trained by your lifestyle. If you avoid pain daily, pain will dominate you when it arrives, because somehow it will. Every habit you repeat is teaching your brain what kind of man you are. If you wake up late, avoid responsibility, escape stress, and numb yourself with entertainment, your mind learns one thing: I am not built for hard work or hardship. And then one day, hardship arrives, and your mind collapses because it was never trained. If you never voluntarily suffer, life will choose suffering for you. The mental architecture of unbreakable men. Unbreakable men don't rely on motivation. They rely on identity. They don't ask, "How do I feel today?" They ask, "What must I do today?" They operate from a private standard they never violate. They expect hardship. They don't get shocked by adversity because they have been trained to recognize adversity. They see pain as training data. They respond, not react. They don't collapse emotionally under stress. They self-regulate before speaking, before acting, before deciding. They don't need validation. They don't announce their goals. They don't explain themselves. They execute when it's all set. They delay gratification. They choose long-term dominance over short-term pleasure. They take responsibility first. They contain emotion. They stay silent while weaker men complain. Because silence is power when your actions speak. They don't rise to confidence. They earn it. Voluntary hardship, the training ground. Unbreakable men train their nervous systems. They don't wait for life to toughen them. They toughen themselves through life. Cold showers, early mornings, hard physical training, difficult conversations, digital fasting, intermittent hunger, silence. Voluntary discomfort builds stress tolerance. Yes, it builds stress tolerance. Your brain stops panicking under pressure. You gain control over impulse. You build proof of discipline. Confidence becomes earned, not imagined. Discipline is pain now or pain later. Every hard thing you avoid is training your weakness. Every hard thing you face is building your resilience. You don't need motivation, you need friction. because friction forges steel. Psychological weapons of the unbreakable. Unbreakable men use psychological weapons for life's battles. They label emotions instead of being consumed by them. They own to it while dealing with it. I feel anger. I feel fear. I feel stress. They name it and disarm it. They reframe pain as feedback. They use negative visualization, psychological warfare. What if this gets worse? Am I still standing? They anchor identity. This is who I am. I do hard things. I don't quit. They practice strategic silence. This is the secret of most athletes. They don't react. They don't argue emotionally. They stack micro wins. They build momentum daily. They take extreme ownership. No excuses, no blaming, no victimhood. A man who controls his reactions controls his life. Your emotions are signals, not commands. Remember the line in the sand. Identity shift. You don't become unbreakable gradually. You become unbreakable the moment you decide who you are. Nobody is coming to save you. No one is responsible for your future except you. You are the last line of defense. You don't need a new strategy. You need a new identity. Your footprints are the last marks in the sand. In closing, for your transformation, you don't need more motivation. You need a harder standard. You need to stop negotiating with weakness. Become a man your future self thanks. Become calm but relentless. Become dangerous but disciplined. Pressure doesn't create men, it reveals them. The world will test you, so you must prepare accordingly. Build a mind that does not collapse but develops. Welcome to the Sovereign Mind with Steve Abba.